As regards what research I've done to understand more about SDGs, we had this course which was creative product innovation. And the situation was that we needed to innovate within an industry, which was the fashion industry. And the task was that we needed to find out what the problems in the industry were and how to solve those problems using creative product innovation. And what I did was to engage with ideas or to engage with information from thought leaders, from consumers of the industry, and even employees or people who have had experience in the industry. And that led me to discover, to have a comprehensive understanding of the implications of this industry on the environment. And the first thing is the excessive use of chemicals and dyes which are dumped into the water body. The implication of that is that it destroys the life in water and that has enormous effects on the environment. The other thing is the in the fast fashion world, there's the enormous and or rapid turnover of fabric and clothing materials which are dumped on land, and this encourages wastage. Another factor that I discovered was the was labor factors which was being unfair to the poor and oppressing the poor, paying them low wages for huge amount of work. And the last thing was how this industry contributed significant amounts of greenhouse gas into the environment. All of these impact goal number 12, which is responsible consumption and production, goal 8, which is decent work and economic growth, goal 13, which is climate action, goal 14, which is life below water, and goal 15, which is life on land. The implications of all of this is that it affects it affects the society, it affects the community, not just the consumers, but people, animals, life, and the whole environment. Thank you. All right, so this is how I can make a difference on the global goals in my chosen field of career going forward. I realized by virtue of my learnings in my course modules that marketing has a tremendous impact on how people act. It is at the forefront of culture formation. It makes people act in certain ways which can have debilitating effects on the environment. And so what I've chosen particularly to do is to imbibe the cultures or the values of the SDGs, which include universality, equality and fairness, human rights, participation and inclusion. And what that means is that at every point in my action as a business professional, as a marketing professional, these values should be at the top of my mind. And in whatever decision I'm making, I'm trying to balance my decision between all those factors, with all these values that I just mentioned. And I also believe that these values are embedded into the meaning of marketing. Marketing is not just about producing value for the consumers, but also the stakeholders, which involve the employees, the environment, and the community at large. And so I intend to keep this value at the top most of my mind so that in whatever decision I make much more ethical decisions. The result of this will be that I'm able to, one, build a brand with the organization that has a positive perception before consumers and also to be productive in the long run because a brand of that nature will be loved by not just the consumers but the community at large. Being an advocate of this would also help me to improve my own personal brand and to to be able to align with companies that have these values as their in their culture. I think this will also enable the organization that I'm working for to draw in top talent to work in that company, thereby making the company much more profitable in the long run. Thank you. All right, so about responsible management and why it matters in business. During the course of my study, we've done lots of case studies, looking at businesses, looking at organizations and how they approach problem solving, their perception in the market in which they operate. And I see the importance or see how responsible management sets businesses apart. And what I understand from all of these reflections of what I understand of responsible management is a management that not just considers economic factors, but also environmental and social factors. So what that means is that this business is not just there for the money alone. Profit is important, but not just there for the profit alone, but also for the well-being of the people, that's social factors, and the safety of the environment, that's environmental factors. And I believe that this is important because one, it keeps the fabric of the society together. So if we consider just profit alone as the ultimate value, then that means at that point we'll be able would consider paying workers less just to make more money. But if we bring all of these factors together, then we can make every part of the society flourish at the same time, not just one part flourishing to the exclusion of every other part. So it keeps the fabric of the society well enriched. The other reason why this is important is that it helps the brand, just as I said earlier on, to have a positive perception in the community. And so that brand has a good brand image and is able to attract more customers in the long run. Another important thing, another reason why it's important is because it also helps to draw in top clients, as I said earlier on. It also helps to be able to like see opportunities and respond to those opportunities or respond to those problems. Thank you. All right, so as regards the top three characteristics of a successful manager, I would say that from my interactions with my models, you've seen the abilities of different managers or leaders and how they've been able to deliver on business metrics. And for me, the top two skills that would separate a successful manager would be number one, the manager that has the rightly ordered values. And what that means is that this manager is not only able to put profit as the topmost priority, but also much profit, profit with environmental concerns and social concerns, and is able to negotiate between all of these at the same time. I think that such leader, apart from having the leadership skills, is able to win the trust of people to follow them because they show care, they show empathy, they show that they, they listen and they're concerned. And so automatically people tend to trust and to just follow them. The other skill for me would be problem solving, which which I believe I have. It helps leaders to be able to see opportunities and create solutions for the opportunity to make profits for for the organization. The other skill will be communication skills. The leader needs to be able to communicate ideas uh, to resonate with people, to resonate with employees, to resonate with customers as well. And so for a manager to be successful, he needs to be able to communicate properly. On these three things, I would say that I I embody the right values, the values that I mentioned, and I am a natural problem solver. I think I'm also a decent communicator, whereas I'm on my way to becoming even better communicator as I've taken courses on LinkedIn on communication to be able to help me communicate better. Thank you. And as regards what I've learned working in a cultural diverse team, I would say that during my course, I've worked in teams of people from different races all over the world. And one thing that I've seen in that is that it has helped problem solving. There was a time in one of our modules that strategic global marketing where we needed to talk about the challenges of moving businesses from a country overseas to another country and the insights that we were able to draw up from the experiences of different people helped us to even understand this concept at a much deeper level. And so a multicultural setting brings different perspectives and helps to solve problems more creatively. Another thing that I've learned working in a multicultural setting is the sensibilities of different cultures. That is the way they want to be greeted, the way they want to be addressed, the way some people come off as competent or as confident. And I've been able to see that I have some biases that I need to be aware of. And I was particularly able to see this because of another course that I took on inclusivity on LinkedIn that helped me to see that in a multicultural setting, everybody has got biases that are unique to their culture. And having this experience made me aware of my cultural biases, and it made me to be humble enough to listen to other people's perspectives. Another thing that I learned from working in a multicultural environment is that naturally we want to shy away from having more intimate conversations and just stay on the superficial level, just greeting each other. I discovered from one of the courses that I took on on inclusivity and diversity that it is important for us to be bold enough to have these deep and more meaningful conversations. If not, we cannot have a heart, we cannot have empathy for ourselves. And even though the course admitted that it can be difficult, but it also shows that we cannot have a meaningful work culture if we do not go beyond the basics of relationships into deeper forms of relationships. The result of this for me is that I've been able to build more meaningful conversation and relationship with my course mates. We've had discussions even ranging from superficial things to more more sensitive issues like racism, which included people of different races, and we talked about this issue. This helped us to connect more with ourselves and care a lot more about ourselves, thereby building a healthy work culture. Thank you. Thank you for listening.